Welcome to the Plant-Based Podcast. Did you know that plants are truly amazing? Not only can you grow them and eat them, you can also wear them, drink them, nourish your skin with them, and so much more. Let Ellen and Michael inspire you to love plants as much as they do, as they chat with the movers and shakers in this wonderful plant-based world. So, let's dig in.
Series 19 of the Plant-Based Podcast is sponsored by Queen and Fine Floral Design. Enjoy gorgeous flowers to lift your mood or gift to a loved one with stunning seasonal bouquets, monthly subscriptions, eloquent wedding flowers, and home floral decorations. Queen and Fine bring nature-led designs to your home because flowers really do make people happy. Now serving in Charlotte, North Carolina, including surrounding areas, and in the UK from 2026. Check us out at queenandfine.com and follow us on Instagram at queenandfine. So today's guest isn't just known for magnificent floral designs and installations, but also for always smiling. And after appearing on the Netflix show, The Big Flower Fight, Sarah Campbell has grown her event design business along with teaching the art of creating flower-filled weddings. And I can definitely say that Sarah is obsessed with flowers. She's even wearing floral clothing early in the morning as we are recording this. So welcome to the Plant-Based Podcast, Sarah.
Thank you so much. That was such an elegant introduction. I loved it.
Thank you. Well, it's all because of you. There was nothing that wasn't elegant to say about you and what you do, that's for sure. So let's start at the beginning, Sarah. First things first. Have you always been obsessed with flowers, or was there a moment when the floral bug kind of officially hit you? Tell us a little bit.
Oh my gosh, I've always been obsessed with flowers. I remember as a little girl, I got in trouble because my mom let me go out and play in the garden, and there were these beautiful giant yellow flowers on her gourds and her pumpkins.
Yay!
And I picked every single one of them and I put them in my little wheelbarrow and I was so excited. And oh my gosh, did I get in trouble? And you would think I learned my lesson. A few years later, we're living in another location and we were in the middle of this forest. And in this forest, there was these tiny blue flowers. I to this day have no idea. We were in southern Texas, no idea what the tiny blue flowers were. And they grew all under the shade of these trees. They were so beautiful. Over the course of that spring, I picked every one of them. They never came back. Like, I literally am killing off plants if I pick too many. So I have to, now as an adult, I have to stop myself. Yet I say that, but I make these large scale, over the top installations that start from the ground and grow to the ceiling. So maybe I'll never learn my lesson.
I've got a feeling you're never going to learn your lesson. Like, even just with what you were saying in, that description, you can completely tell that you are still obsessed with flowers. And I feel like you would still find a woodland and sneakily go off and pick all of the flowers and not tell us.
I so do my best. I was just in London for that Fleur de Lis event, and there's something about flowers that I just want to reach out and touch and just we feel them. Like, they're visually beautiful, but they're tactile as well. And I have to remind myself, this is art. It is on display in a museum, in a showcase. This is art. You do not reach out and touch a Monet. And you should not reach out and touch someone's floral displays. But oh my gosh, a number of times I reached and had to pull myself back. They were just so beautiful.
I get it. I understand. I feel like that when I go to a botanic garden to see all the plants. Like, it's just impossible not to touch. And things are like, do not touch, do not move. And you're just like, oh, but I'm just so close to just feeling the texture,
Right?
and the scent and everything. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Before we move on, I have to ask you, how did you find London? How did you find the exhibition?
Oh, well, personally, I loved London. I had actually never traveled outside of the North America, South America area until the big flower fight. So
Yeah.
that was my first real international like experience. And I fell in love with London. I loved Borough Market. I loved the London countryside. And then being able to bring my husband, because he wasn't there. So for those of you that don't know, we filmed in England, the big flower fight, filmed the big flower fight in England, and we were there for I think about 3 months. I can't remember exactly, but I really got to experience England almost like I lived there. But my husband was not with me for that time, and me and my husband, we are very close. We've been together for well over 2 decades now, and it was really nice to bring him back and show him Borough Market and show him the Tower Bridge and just show him the people and the experiences, and then to be able to go and experience the Fleur de Lis event and meet fellow flower friends. It was a wonderful experience. In fact, we ended up getting together with a number of the cast from Big Flower Fight while we were at Kew Gardens, and he got to meet them as well, which was really nice. It was like this family gathering.
I love that. And I love that you love London as well. And actually, we have another guest on the podcast this series who was also in the Big Flower Fight. So there's a little mini scoop
Yay!
for everyone listening. So talking about the Big Flower Fight, tell us everything. What was the wildest thing that happened behind the scenes that we didn't see? Give us a little bit of gossip.
Oh, all right. First of all, behind the scenes was where the real show went down. Like, we had so much fun. So, one of the things you actually didn't see, Ralph, who was the dad from the Dad and Lad team, was such a fun character. I feel like on the show, you just see him working, but he was warm and wonderful. And if any of us were in a grumpy mood, he was right there to make us laugh and lift us up and just well, be a dad for all of us. I say that we're like not even that far from our age difference. And then the other thing that you really didn't see, actually, let me take that back. When they cast the show, they didn't have the name for the show. It wasn't called The Big Flower Fight when they cast it. And I feel like they cast it all wrong for a big flower fight because they cast some of the most wonderful, warm, welcoming, encouraging, wanting to work together designers. And then they wanted us to fight. And the fights that we did have, they're on camera. In fact, I have a very embarrassing fight to this day. When anyone brings it up, I'm like, oh my gosh, should I actually do that on camera? Um, but to like they really had to struggle to find disagreement and argument because we genuinely enjoyed it. We were genuinely excited to be there, and we genuinely wanted each of us to win. You could see, I don't remember what episode it was, but one of the teams is doing this. This is a spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't watched it. It's doing this big giant crab. And at one point, the crab starts to waver and the structure starts to move. And every one of us left what we were doing. We didn't care where we were in the stage of our design production. We left what we were doing and we went over to help. And I refused to leave. At one point, the designer whose design this was, she's like, Sarah, you are about to die and get crushed by this crab. You have to leave. And I'm in tears. I didn't want to leave because I couldn't imagine if that was mine and letting my work fall to the ground. So you didn't see a lot of that, but that really was the heart kind of behind Big Flower Fight was we were a family and we bonded. And for people who didn't know each other very long, we just felt instantly connected because we had this bond of flowers and plants. A lot of plants, actually more plants than I bargained for.
Yeah, that's so nice because you're right. The name is the fight. You're expecting kind of like you ought to be fighting with your hydrangeas like pillow fighting, but like you know, big hydrangea heads being like slapped around. But I think flowers bring people together. You know, they it provides a happy environment, you know, and how can you want to fight with your fellow floral designers, you know? So that's so nice to hear. I think we should rename the series though.
Oh, let's be well, what should we rename the series? The Big
Mm.
Flower Happy Family? That sounds so boring.
I think it sounds lovely. We can go with that if you like.
Everyone got along and played with flowers.
The Big fluffy flower fight.
I could also tell you what you didn't see is the shock at how much work it was.
Yeah.
I was fully expecting there to be like people to help and a support team, but there was not, which I think is why we ended up helping each other so much because like it was just us. And when I go in for production for an installation, I work on a team and I'm leading the team, and I might have 15, 20, 30, even 50 people on a team to do some of these large scale productions. And I had myself and then my assistant, who at that time, Jordan, she had really never done flowers. She was straight out of college. She'd been traveling with me as my personal assistant and had helped prep for workshops, but she'd really only swept and cleaned up and maybe cut chicken wire once or twice. So it was a little difficult.
Oh, bless, but also she must have been so like pressured, like herself, like, whoa, this is like a lot to do.
It was definitely a lot.
So, okay, you are known for these absolutely magnificent, dreamy, over the top floral installations. Like, do you walk straight into a space and immediately start mentally covering it in flowers? Like, how does your mind work when you just walk into a space?
Immediately, every space. Doesn't matter where I am. I was literally sitting at dinner looking at the Tower Bridge in London and thinking, oh my gosh, how could we do it? Okay, we'd have to get a barge and would have to have lifts on the barge, and then the water is going to move. So I'm always thinking of mechanics, how you can do those large scale pieces, and then how you can do it easily, because that's the real challenge. If you make it too complicated and too difficult, it won't get done on time. So you've got to find a way to do it big and wow and powerful, but also simple at the same time, which I think that is where my brain actually does its best. Because Ellen, I have a secret for you.
Okay, yay. We like secrets.
People watch me and they think, wow, she works so hard. She's working all the time. I internally am secretly a lazy person. I would love to sit on the couch, binge me some Netflix all the time. Someone deliver me some food. That'd be great. I just want to stay there. Because of that internal lazy nature, I make sure when I am working, I get the most done for the minimal effort.
Yeah,
And
got
I
it.
didn't realize how important that was until I started teaching other designers. And I realized they were afraid to do things because they thought it was so complicated. And if you look at it as a whole, it looks complicated. But when you break it down, it is a series of small, simple tasks repeated over and over again. And it can be done quickly in an hour, 2 hours, when you have the right team doing the right repeatable methods. So nothing I teach is rocket scientists.
It's early, don't worry. You have a busy day.
Nothing I teach is rocket science. I think that's what I was going for.
Do you know what? I absolutely love the idea of Tower Bridge being completely and utterly covered in flowers.
Okay, who's gonna do it? Like, I'm a little far from London, but I would come for the task. But I feel like someone's got to dress that bridge in flowers. It's so beautiful. And if not London Tower Bridge, what about that pretty little clock you got going over there? That pretty little clock would also look beautiful with flowers just growing up the side and kind of swooping around, showcasing the clock's face. Ben needs a little blooms.
Can you? Oh, I love that. Ben in Bloom.
Ben
That's
in
what
blue.
Ben in Bloom.
Oh,
This
I
is a
love
whole
that.
thing, Sarah. Let's make this happen. We
Oh,
get the
make that
cranes,
happen.
drape it in flowers. Listen to us. Like years and years ago, I had a dream. Like literally, I had a dream. No, I genuinely had a dream in my night sleep. And when I woke up, I was like, wow, that was amazing. I wanted to go back to sleep to, like dream it all over again. And it was, I had gone into Piccadilly Circus and dressed the whole area with flowers. So, there were just flowers over the buildings, all the old buildings, and just you walk through and it was like this
Oh,
amazing green and flowery space. And I wanted to go back to sleep because it was dreamy. So we
I
could
love those dreams.
let's start with with Ben in Bloom. I love that. You mentioned teaching as well. Like that's such a big part of what you do now. And you did just, really give us the scoop inside there that, a lot of the installations aren't difficult or, they are simple to put together, but, the flowers kind of speak for themselves. So you sort of already said, kind of answered my question that I was going to ask next. And that's like, what's the most surprising thing your students discover when they start learning floral design with you? And I feel like that's ticked the box a little. But is there anything else that you want to add? Because you tell us all about your teaching. Because I mean, it's amazing. I've seen, photos and videos of your, your kind of retreats and workshops, and they just look phenomenal. So, A, what's the surprising thing? And B, tell us more.
Every student we have, every single student, their jaw drops and they're shocked. I'm not teaching them something they don't know. I'm teaching them how to look at what they know and see it differently.
Mm.
Every single thing I do is easy. I promise you it's easy. And designers go out of there completely shocked. I am not teaching these intricate design techniques that will take hours and hours to perfect. I'm teaching really simple, really easy processes to break down these large scale pieces. And like I've had designers, we do have designers that come to multiple workshops and they have been for years. And they continue to return because they say, every time I come to a workshop, you're teaching essentially the same designs, but you've got different flowers and different colors and a different venue. And I learn something different that makes my job easier, that helps me to make more profits. And I think that's the most exciting thing for me is that I'm taking something that is so simple. Have you ever heard anyone, you talk to someone with a really complicated job and you're like, oh, that must be so difficult. And they'll say something like, oh, it's not difficult for me, but it's difficult for the average person. And I feel like that's the way with installations. People are afraid to go after them because they're afraid that they're just too much and they can't do them. But that's because they just don't know the easy way.
Yeah, that's me, by the way. I'm that. So my husband is you. He is like work smart, not hard. Or not that you don't work hard, but like that kind of lazy approach. So you want to find an easy way to make something big happen. I'm the opposite. I look at that and go, ah, no, I'm not going to take that on because that's just too much. Like I don't know how to do it. So I need to come on one of your workshops for sure.
Oh, join us. So we have some incredible tour stops this year. Every year we hand select the venues that we want to feature all across the United States. We actually have not brought this tour out of the United States. The very first event we're hosting, oh, except for Canada, but I kind of consider Canada one of us.
Yeah.
um, so the very first officially international outside of North America event we're hosting is actually in Ireland. We have a retreat at the Markree Castle, and our friends over at Kay's Flower School have helped to facilitate this to bring us all the way to Ireland. I'm crazy excited. I was afraid that it wasn't going to sell. I was so terrified that what if no one wants to come to Ireland? And Ellen, we sold out in 21 minutes. The whole entire retreat in 21 minutes.
Whoa, that's
Isn't that
incredible.
incredible?
That's so fantastic. That's
Uh,
testament to you and to Kay's Flower School, who, okay, now I'm going to drop it in, but they are who's coming on the podcast this series as well.
ah! I
I love
love
that for you all. That's
I love
amazing.
my K's girls.
That's really exciting. Just tell us a bit more about the tour that you're doing, because there's a few stops. So,
Sure. So, uh, like I said, every year we choose usually 6 to 8 of the most beautiful venues across the United States. And we're looking for places that we can really see the flowers just bring them to life. And then we partner with a company called Style Shoots Across America. So Intrigue is teaching the workshops and the classes to the designers, and we produce these over the top designs. And then our partner company, they actually have a ticket offer for photographers to come in and photograph and video the finished productions. And they host an entire beautiful media style wedding shoot. So you have the models, the tablescapes, all the details that make our flowers come to life. Because flowers are amazing, but flowers alone are just pretty. When
Mm.
you pair wedding flowers with all those fine finishes, it really erupts and comes to life. So that pairing is what makes us really strong. And honestly, I think that has a lot to do with the viral attention that these events gain every winter season. So
Yeah.
we tour from January to April every year across the United States. And the excitement that happens during these and the thousands of flowers that come in, it's just incredible.
It's so exciting. The pictures just look absolutely amazing. And I'm based in North Carolina, so I've been kind of looking at the Raleigh workshop retreat. So hopefully I have my fingers crossed to be able to make that for sure.
Yay.
Um, okay, so talking about wedding flowers, if you could design flowers for any celebrity wedding, who would it be? And what would the vibe of that wedding be?
Oh my gosh. This isn't even fair. So, first of all, it's kind of like when you ask me what your favorite flower is. My favorite flower is the one I have at the moment because I'm excited about
Yeah.
it. But, and so now you ask me which celebrity, and I say the only one I could even talk about right now, and you know it. You know what I'm about to say. It is Tay Tay herself.
Hey, hey.
Taylor Swift. If I could be the Taylor Swift wedding florist, let me tell you what I would do. First of all, I have to tell you, one of the tour stops this year is actually inspiration is pulled from Taylor Swift herself. And as we've discussed each of these tour stops, I have sat down and thought, okay, if Taylor Swift was getting married at this venue, what would Taylor Swift's wedding look like at the Swan House in Atlanta? What would Taylor Swift's wedding look like at the Bradford in Raleigh? So each of these venues have definitely been inspired by Taylor Swift. The selection we had her in mind. So right now it would definitely be Taylor Swift. And of all the weddings we're designing, so essentially I'm designing Taylor Swift's wedding 7 times this season while on tour. But I think that Taylor's wedding is going to be classic. And I feel like it is going to be a small and intimate gathering because this woman, she is a powerhouse. She is an entrepreneur. She's marrying a man who is a powerhouse and an entrepreneur, and both of them have eyes on them all the time. And I feel like for their wedding day, it's going to be special. It's going to be just for them. And I don't feel like we're going to see celebrity florists, celebrity photographers. I think it's going to genuinely be a classic traditional wedding.
Mm.
But for me, I'm going to design the Tay Tay weddings of my dreams for her so she doesn't have to.
I absolutely love that. 7 times over as well. So,
Seven
you know,
times over.
I love that. Lucky you. Some of us can only dream of that, but you're actually making that a reality. I love Tay Tay. Oh, I loved the engagement shoot photographs. It was so dreamy. Oh, so wonderful.
All of us in the flower world were so appreciative of the flower abundance
Yes.
because that is the most romantic thing in a wedding. And I do love minimalism as well. I think it can be so classy and so beautiful. But when you give me my choice, I want to be in a beautiful garden. Oh my gosh, the gardens in England. Oh, I come home. So I live in Maryland, just north of Washington, D.C. And I try to create an English garden. I fail every year, but I've been trying since 2019 when we were in England filming this show. I've been trying to recreate an English garden. And sometimes a corner is successful, never
Yeah.
the whole garden.
Yeah, a little area in the corner. Like I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it's practically impossible to create any kind of English garden here, believe me. But I've tried. You can't beat it. And there's some amazing gardens all around the world, but there is something about English gardening. It's just top notch. You've got the climate that allows for all these wonderful perennials, and annuals and biennials to all grow together, and it's just. That it's something that I think the English are very proud of, of their gardens. So,
I think you nailed that when you said they're proud of it. I feel like there's honor in gardening and honor in gardens in England, and I really love that.
mm,
It's not that I feel like America has dishonored gardens in any way, but there's not the same cherish and love for it
mm.
as there seems to be in England, and I'm harnessing all of that.
I love that you are. I've got a good question for you now. I just thought of actually. Is there a flower trend that you secretly wish would go away? Is there something going on that you're like, yeah, I don't really like that. It's got to
Okay, I'm gonna get real close for this one.
go.
All right. I feel like I'm about to get some hate for this. So I'm going to say it with a little hesitation. Greenery, greenery, plants,
Greenery.
greens.
Look
I'm
at all the green.
sorry.
Like, I'm literally sitting here in front of a load of green, Sarah.
I get it. But I love to tell stories about flowers. And when I have to tell stories that are all about greenery and plants, 10 years ago, I thought they were beautiful. And now I'm like, get the greens away. I can't see the flowers. So I am flower forward, and I would love the trend of just all the greenery to go away so I could just see more flowers.
Okay, this
All
is what
right.
I'm gonna do this especially for you because obviously we can see each other, but obviously listeners are only getting the audio. I am sitting in front of a moss frame wall. I've got a strelitzia one side of me, a couple of propagated plants this side of me, and some willow up here. But what you can't see, Sarah, because I'm in the way, and I'm just going to move, and I'm going to move this especially for you, that there are actually a few flowers. So I'm going to put them, look, to my side so that while I'm back on screen, you can see that I do at least have a few flowers.
Meanwhile, I'm so about to get canceled from the plant podcast. They're going to kick me off, never going to ask me back again. All right. Can I also tell you that when I agreed to do the big flower fight, I thought I was coming to do wedding flowers and wedding flower installations. Clearly, I did not read or listen to what they were telling me because at no time did I expect to be surrounded with plants, potted plants, no less. What do you do with it? The roots are still attached. It was so hard, so hard. I think Jordan and I almost every episode when we were filming for the first hour, we stood there and we just looked, especially the first episode with these metal pieces and then plants that were supposed to make look like flowers. Oh, it was so hard. It was so hard.
I
And
feel like you've had trauma from greenery and
oh,
plants.
I thought I was going home every week. Every week, I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever made in my entire life.
Don't worry, we won't ban you from plant-based podcasts.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Flowers come from plants ultimately. So, we're all good. We're all
Yeah.
good.
Oh, I appreciate the flower part of the plants. Love that.
Just not the roots in the soil and the pots that they come in.
Yeah, let's get rid of those.
That's so funny. You are an inspiration. So I've seen you obviously online and your designs, and I think, you are absolutely incredible. There's a lot of inspiration out there in the floral world. Is there someone in the design world that inspires you to do what you do?
Oh, okay. So I don't know. It's someone, it's something.
Yeah.
I really am inspired by all the flower schools all around the world. I feel like that each of these flower schools really are giving students this different focus, this different design experience. And I think that is so inspiring and so empowering. And sometimes in the education world, I feel like I've gotten a little lonesome because there's not as many of us. So I recently have decided I want to bring together all the flower schools. What if we just got together once a year to talk and just get to know each other and talk about what we're sharing with our students? So it really is the flower schools that inspire me, and that and the fact that, oh, this actually is something else that just empowers me. This is not even your question, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. Something that empowers me is I get texts and DMs and emails almost every single day from students that are sharing with us the success they've had. I've gotten DMs with photographs of checks from clients that the student is like, look at this check. This is just the deposit. And they're really excited. That's really what empowers me. So I guess I'm inspired by the flower schools, and I'm empowered by the students that not only have found success, but many of these students have built businesses that could run circles around the businesses that I built. And I thought I did pretty well. So that's really exciting to see others thrive and grow. I
That's
get
so nice.
sidetracked.
And like, no, that's really lovely. And actually, it shows what a great community that you've built. And also, that floral teaching around the world sounds like a really lovely community that wants to help each other. Is that how it is?
I actually don't know many of the flower schools, honestly. I know Kay's flower school really well. So I used to host an annual conference and I brought educators in, but I've only met a few international flower school leaders. And because of this relationship that Kay's and I have started to form, I feel like it would be so healthy for more of us to get together. So if any of your listeners are teaching a flower school or a plant school, like, can we be friends? Like, I would love to have more flower school friends because we can learn from each other. And sometimes it's good to just have friends that understand the path that you're on.
Yeah. Absolutely. I totally agree. So anyone listening, get in touch with Sarah. I think that's a great idea. Build a community of floral teachers. How lovely. And perhaps you can all get together and bring our Ben in Bloom idea together. That
How
would
fun.
be brilliant. I know that you have a ridiculously busy day today. And in fact, when we came on, Sarah was already writing her list for the day ahead. Here it is, yeah. So I've got kind of one last question before we have a quick shout out for where people can find you online. And that is, I'm not going to ask you what your favorite flower is, even though I'm really desperate to know. I'm going to say to you, if you had only one flower arrangement that you could make for the rest of your life, what's in it? What would be in that floral arrangement?
Oh, easy. Alstroemeria.
Oh, really?
Alstroemeria. It would be an installation just full of Alstroemeria. Alstroemeria is this flower that gets such a bad rap, and people think it's boring and it's ugly, but it's not. It's beautiful and it's full, and it gives you the big, robust power of hydrangea without the denseness of hydrangea. And it's got greenery mixed in with the leaves, so you get a little bit of that natural green in there. And for the lazy florist, which as hard as I work, I feel like I'm a lazy florist, you have greens and flowers all in one. And that is one of the flowers that actually shocks students. It's in most of my designs. You'll see them be Alstroemeria heavy. I use it as an underfill. So whereas people green up with greens, I often am going to green up with Alstroemeria. And some installations, we're doing just Alstroemeria, and it will blow your mind at how incredible this is.
I
So,
love that. It's not one that you would necessarily bring straight to mind, but they last a really long time in a vase and out of vase as well. And actually, we interviewed Ben, and this was a couple of series ago now, so I should remember the name of his business, but it's in the south of England, and he grows and breeds Alstroemeria, and it's phenomenal. Like he is an absolutely great guy, and the information he gave us was absolutely incredible. So if anyone's interested in listening to that, go and listen. You too, Sarah. His
yes,
Ben. It's like
Ben
Ben Alstroemeria.
Ben with Alstroemeria in the south of England. Can we be friends? I think I was just in the south of England. I can't be sure, but friends of ours that I know live in the south of England met us to take us out to Stonehenge a couple weeks ago. Uh,
Nice.
and it was, but I don't know if Stonehenge is actually in the south. I think it's more of like the east or west.
Well, it is south-ish.
Ish.
You
Okay,
know what? I'm
I'll
gonna
take
say
that as a win.
I'm gonna say this to everyone. Like so, being a Brit in America, almost everyone will say to me, "Where are you from?" And I'll say England, and they'll say, "Oh, London." Like London's the only place in the whole of England. No, there's north, south, east, and west of London too.
Well, to be clear, coming from America, when you think of England, we only know London. Like
Yeah, it's
it
true.
took me coming to London multiple or coming to England multiple times to get a feel for what the other areas are. We genuinely only think of London. But if you think about America, you think of New York, LA, maybe Florida, but you don't really know where all the other things are. And if you do, your geography is excellent. You probably should have your own podcast about geography.
Yeah, love that. Stonehenge is southwestish. Southwest or kind of, yeah, like I think it's Salisbury. Even I should know
Yes,
that right
it
now.
was Salisbury. We took the
Salisbury.
train from Waterloo to Salisbury.
Nice. That's quite a nice journey as well.
It was.
Okay, that's great. We could also floralize Stonehenge perhaps.
Oh,
Where can
wouldn't that be
listeners
fun?
find out more about you? Where can they find out more about your amazing courses that
Uh,
you do online and in person?
Instagram is probably the best place. It's Intrigue Teaches or Intrigue underscore designs. Uh, Also, if you want to join us on Facebook, we have a private group that is just for wedding and event florists that have this sense of community. So, one of the things that you'll find about the Intrigue community, which is different from many of the other floral communities, this is a warm, welcoming, bring you kid together, share everything. When you're in the Intrigue community, especially in the Intrigue Facebook group, if you have to ask a question, you are not going to get dissed or bashed or anyone say, that's a stupid question. You should go read a book. We have this community where the people that are part of Intrigue are warm and welcoming. If you are not warm and welcoming and ready to educate and share what you know with others, then you're really not a good fit for Intrigue and you'll be out of there quickly because we'll annoy you because we're just going to be happy and healthy, helping people and smile and we exude joy. So if that is you, join us at Intrigue on Facebook. And if it's not
Yeah.
you, go join one of those other groups.
Yay, I want to join you. I want to join Intrigue Facebook group. When I first got into floral design, I can remember like having a look at a few groups online and some new florists had posted some photographs and they're like, oh, I've just done this for my first like wedding. And then the comments are like, oh, that's awful. Or, oh, I would never put that there. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's all. That's just not constructive feedback.
When I first started teaching in the floral world, that was one of the things I wanted to get away from, is because I had experienced that. I had seen that. And I wanted a place that was safe and comfortable and a place where there were more people like me. So essentially, maybe I just wanted friends.
Yay, you wanted some floral friends.
And over the course of time, we now have over 12,000 members globally, which, quite frankly, most of them are in the United States. There's probably 10,000 that are in the US, another 2,000 globally. I've never done the math, I'm guessing. But that many designers all across the globe that are eager and ready to share and be part of something that's bigger, helping other designers make more money, work easier, and build this dream business that, quite frankly, people on the outside don't take us seriously. But on
Yeah.
the inside, we know this is serious business.
Serious business. Well, Sarah, you are about to have 12,001 members of your
Yay!
community because I'm totally going off to join after this podcast. I appreciate you coming on the podcast so much. I know Michael does as well. This is a solo episode. I'm doing all the floral stuff for this series. So he met you at the flower. It was
World
it
Cup
what Flower World Cup in Holland? Was it you
in
both?
Holland, yes. Oh,
Yes.
that was such a funny meeting. Um, Someone came over and said, "Do you want to interview Sarah?" And he kind of looked at me funny. He's like, "Well, what would you say?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't even know. I didn't get asked a question." So I started talking. He like looks down. He's like, "Okay, we can turn the camera on now." I was like, "Well, I think I just got interviewed before an interview. I don't know that's ever happened before."
I bet he was like, "What? Oh my gosh, this is great. Hurry up."
Oh, he was delightful. I've really enjoyed getting to know him, for the few minutes that we were together, and then now I've been following and watching, and I'm like, wow, this is like, I love the way he showcases the plants, and
Mm.
he actually kind of reminds me of myself a little bit, the way he introduces a plant. So when I see a new flower and I open with, let me introduce you to gladiolas. I don't think I've ever said that word out loud like that before, but I find it kind of so fascinating that we have a similar thought process on how we talk about flowers. Well, he's talking about plants, but I talk about just flowers.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. So you two are kindred spirits, but
Absolutely.
he's more greenery, so you might not really like him as much as me.
Don't tell him. Don't let him listen to this podcast.
Sarah, thank you so much. It's been really great chatting to you. It's wonderful watching you. You are a complete inspiration. Good luck with all of your retreats coming up next year. Listeners, please go check out Intrigue Designs, because honestly, absolutely fabulous. If you haven't followed Sarah already, you are going to see some absolutely epic designs, loads of beautiful flowers. So I'm going to let you get on with your extremely busy day. And thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you, dear. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Queen and Fine Floral Design are sponsors of the Plant-Based Podcast for Series 19. We provide nature-led designs for your home, office and events, because flowers really do make people happy. Check us out at queenandfine.com and follow us on Instagram at Queen and Fine.